Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome one, welcome all to SimSpeed TV for the 7th round of Formula Racing Group's Premier Series, the Formula Ford Australia E-Series. We are live from virtual Spain here. In the Circuito de Navarra in Andalusia. What a fantastic circuit we're coming to here for the 7th round. Bringing it to you all live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch and Kick. It's me, Reese Gardner, filling in once again with David Roberts alongside me in the commentary box. Well, David, we're approaching the tail end of the season now, and the Sportsman Championship is almost wrapped up for Benjamin Roberts, who is not present this round. But there's sure to be some very exciting racing at this difficult circuit.
Yeah, and it looks like beautiful weather in Spain as usual. Yeah, I think Ben's got this one pretty locked up. He's got, 49 points. I think there's 50 points on the table. So Ian Zhu he would have to take 2 wins to knock Ben off, because Ben won't be around for the last 2 rounds. He's unfortunately travelling. But it makes an interesting fight for second there. If you look at that 71, 70, 69, 65, there's 4 guys, they're really battling out tight for that second place. So be interesting to see how we go. It's a tough circuit, as you said. I've been watching a little bit of practice, and I've seen more people going backwards than I've seen at any race so far. So it's one of those circuits where you're braking very, very, very late, and the Ford's got a little bit of a loose rear end. So there's been a lot of people spearing off left, right and centre.
Yeah, Navarra is a circuit of 2 halves, really. You have the long run down the start-finish straight to the difficult braking zone through turns 1 and 2, the hairpin at turn 3, and then going through turns 5 and 6, through turn 7 as well. One of the most difficult sections of racetrack that I've ever experienced, and especially in a zero downforce treaded tyre machine like the Formula Ford. It's rather difficult to get your line right, get your turn in right as well. But the second half of the lap, David, all the way from 9 through to about turn 15, it has a bit of a street circuit feel for my money. Some short, sharp blasts between very sharp corners.
Yeah, and as funny as it is like a street circuit, and it's got all those 90-degree corners, there's quite good flow in the circuit, which is interesting. I think it's just some of those curves like 10 and the 6-7 complex, plus that 1, 2, 3, which is a real handful. They just sort of give it that little bit of a break up, and it's got nice flow in the circuit. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is quite an enjoyable circuit in the right car, and I think we're going to be seeing some big moves happening into turn 3, of course. Also turns 8 and 9 are the big overtaking opportunities, as well as the last few corners as well. This is the format for tonight, pre-qualifying setting the 30-car field for the sportsman category. The drivers have just completed the majority of their 4-lap solo qualifying, and we will have a 30-minute race, full-on sprint right to the end. No need to take a pit stop. So there's going to be a lot of potential for moves here. The drivers will be going as all out as they possibly can right to the end.
Yeah, and it is a place that does allow a bit of passing. I think you'll see plenty of overtaking here in the Formula Fords, and there'll be plenty of mistakes, which opens up opportunities for passing as well. So
Yeah, indeed. I mentioned the runs through turn 8 into turn 9 and turn 10, the sweeper that you saw on the aerial shot just a couple of moments ago is one of those spots where you have a lot of potential for sliding around in higher powered cars. These cars obviously don't have that much power, but they don't have any grip either. So you need to be very careful with how you enter a lot of these turns. The curbs are also very harsh in many places. Navarra is one of the tracks that shipped with 3D curbs when the scan of it was released here on iRacing, and it's something that iRacing is implementing at every other circuit as time goes on, but very harsh sawtooth curbs on a lot of the corners here, which is going to very easily unsettle the cars. Qualifying is over, and we can go through the grid. Kane Ryder has jumped onto pole position. It's another 2/10 back to Hayden Millington, who joins him on the front row in the 2-2-1. Daniel McCrohan, he was fast in practice, fast in qualifying as well, starts in 3rd place alongside Vaughan Ryder, showing great pace there in 4th spot. Brett McBurney and Ian Shue round out the top 6 there. Remember, Shue has to win this race in order to have even a chance of overcoming Benjamin Roberts' points tally. Steve Curtis and Mitchell Albert 7th and 8th. The top 10 cars rounded out by Jason Depp and Daniel Boswell.
So there in P11 we've got Michael Cullen and alongside him Ross Hansen. They've been good stalwarts of the series so far. 13 and 14, 2 teammates there in Adrian Gretsch and Matthew Bakir. So they'll be dicing together on the first few laps, I expect. Chris Barnes alongside Nathan Verney on the 8th row of the grid. Moving back to the 9th row of the grid is Mark Bowman and John Wade. I think John's pretty new to the series. Another of the Valvoline cars there in Ronald Long on P19 and Stephen Cassides in P20.
Starting out at 21st, the number 2 of Nathan Favero with Dean Williams, the privateer, starting alongside Tristan Yelland for Neuropower Velocity Mag Racing alongside Jared Kale on 24th spot. The next row of the grid, 13th, being Martin Lipsky and Brett Milner. The 13th row, I should clarify there. 27th place will be Michael Gillespie starting alongside David Riviere, and then we have James Chastaneuf and Gustavo Cirillo starting out of the last 2 spots on the grid. Interestingly, the safety car gridded ahead of Gustavo there on the back row of the grid. So let's see what Gus is able to do there from the final spot. How far will he be able to make it up the field? Certainly had some great runs in the past. Reasonable temperature on the track, 27 degrees Celsius, sort of overcast conditions here at Navarra, which should provide some interesting grip. Once the tyres get up to temperature, the revs rise, and we are away for the sportsman category race. And Kane Ryder gets a pretty good start, but someone stalled further back in the field there, David.
Yep, they sure did. And there was a few behind taking very, very quick avoiding action. So down into turn 1, so it looks like Ryder's taken a good, comfortable grasp of the lead there over those first couple of corners. Down the inside there, over the curb, it's all a bit dangerous and a bit skitty, and someone's round in the background.
Oh dear, that's a big problem there for Stephen Cassidis. He's unfortunately spun around there, coming out of turn 2 into 3, but he'll get back going as there's a lot of hard racing going on in the midfield here. Chris Barnes and the number 74 was the car that stalled on the grid, and he's got a lot of positions to make up here, and there'll surely be a few made up as the field goes side by side through to turn 8, side by side between Matthew Beckier and Nathan Verney there. We ride on board behind with John Wade as he negotiates or tries to negotiate Verney there. Unfortunately, not enough of a chance to get up the inside coming through turn 8. Navarra is one of those circuits where if you have the outside line in one of these tight corners, you can straighten the car up, square it off, and you'll be able to get a better run out of the corner there. Ian Xu losing 1 position on this first lap so far as Jason Depp tries to pass Mitchell Albert, who, remember, is also mathematically in championship contention.
Yeah, he can tie the series, but I think if he did, he'd still lose because on a countback, most wins go to Ben Roberts. So mathematically he can, but I don't think he can.
Yeah. So yeah, mathematically can at least tie, but Ben Roberts will still win on that countback, as you said. Well, Lap 1 is complete with 2 minutes complete in the race, and I've seen Dean Williams fall down the timing sheets in the 024 for a second. It looks to me like he's come into the pits. Evidently, some damage has been taken for him on the first lap as McBurney trying to pass Vaughan Ryder for 4th place. How aggressive do you want to be when the tyres are still cold into these opening turns?
Yeah, it's really hard there. You're braking through 3 different sort of corners. You go right a little bit, right a little bit more, and right a bit more, and you're trying to brake and not brake while you're turning, and it's quite a driver management issue down to that turn 1. Here's this other awkward one where it's curving through, and someone's run very wide there, curving through, and you're trying to brake and turn in, and the tail's getting loose, and it's you'd see them there all over the curb, all over everything. So Ross Hansen seems to move just past Mitchell Albert there, which is good for Ross, and he's having a bit better run. To go back to Gustavo Cirillo, I know Gustavo had a lot of internet troubles. He's been in practice trying to fix the internet and was going to start off the back of the grid because he didn't want to ruin anyone's race. So let's hope that with the goodwill he's put in there that he gets some result tonight.
Yeah, well, he's making up some good positions. Oh, no, there's been further problems there. Stephen Cassidis, and it looks like Martin Lipsky as well, as Hayden Millington has had a problem. The safety car's been called. There's been a big issue somewhere out on the circuit at the moment. Those cars are not going anywhere. What on earth happened to Hayden Millington?
It's car 323, so that would be...
That's Lipsky.
That is Lipsky, yes it is.
And it looks like Tristan Yelland has also stopped on the circuit as well. So we have some big issues for 3 cars there, and we're going to see how that all happened.
So one's lost it, and it's trying to snow.
Oh, dearie
me.
The worst
place you could lose a car, isn't it? On that, it's sort of semi-blind, you're stuck in the middle, you really can't avoid it. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate indeed. Fastest corner on the circuit other than turn 1. So, yeah, someone loses it on the inside there, and you're already committing to the corner behind, and it's a little bit blind as well. So, from the driver's perspective, not an ideal spot to come up on a stopped car. Well, the safety car is indeed out, and just before the safety car came out, Hayden Millington tried to go for second on Daniel McCrohan, and unfortunately overcooked it and spun around. So Millington's now all the way at the back of the field.
Well, he's dropped quite a lot of spots, hasn't he? A lot of spots. So maybe we can get a replay of that little thing if possible. Here, look at that. Our director's so on top of it, isn't he?
Yes, indeed. There we go. He goes for the dive, but unfortunately, a bit of contact on the inside there. And he got a mechanical black flag from that. Just a little whack of the suspension, and then as the cars came through, much more damage besides.
That definitely needs wheel alignment if you look at that.
Yeah, well, Millington, I think, already pulled into the pits to get the repairs done on that car, and he's going to have a lot of positions to make up when we go back to green flag racing. See that they're weaving quite aggressively here behind the safety car. They're trying desperately to keep the temperature in the tires. Navarra is a very smooth circuit, and there's a lot of slow corners around here, which means that tire temperature buildup when you're racing isn't that quick. So they, it makes sense why they're doing this.
Yeah, but if you can't heat the tyres driving it at full speed, how much warmth does a little bit of weaving going to put in it?
Not much.
Absolutely nothing. You'd be better driving around and holding your foot on the brake.
Yeah, that's the general strategy that's recommended in iRacing, actually, because yeah, the weaving at slow speed actually doesn't do that much to heat the tires up. Maybe you know, if anything, it's a comfort thing for the drivers, just making sure that their steering response is still good, trying to get in the rhythm, get in the mood for when they go back green. But yeah, riding the brakes probably the better option.
Over my time in Formula Ford, I was never a great weaver of the car, but I used to always running the brakes, keeping the temperature in the wheel hot made just as much difference. And you know, if you do that, the weaving, it just doesn't do it. And I've seen so many people go off weaving the car.
Yeah, you're better off making sure that your brakes are up to temperature. The incident that we saw there between Millington and McCrohan is under investigation, and I think that Millington might be the one more under investigation for that. He's the one that spun in front of everyone else. But we're going to get back to green flag racing in just a few moments' time. The safety car is in, and Kane Ryder is going to get the jump on everyone else as the green flag flies. We're back to racing round 7 of Formula Ford Australia E-Series. Daniel McCrohan managing to escape damage from that incident with Millington and still holding strong in second, but the racing will definitely gear up in terms of temperature if the tyres aren't up to temperature coming into the first couple of turns. A much more orderly start than what we saw at the very start of the race. For now, it looks like Kane Ryder is comfortable in the lead, but we'll see McCrohan start to chase him down from here.
These little Formula Fords really are the place to learn racing, whether it be sim racing or real racing, exactly the same. It really is a fabulous place to learn how to drive a race car and understand the mechanical grip of a car without wings, and how to balance it and how the throttle and the suspension and everything work together. And you learn so much driving these things. And it's exactly the same here in the sim world.
Yeah, indeed. There's a very good reason why these cars on iRacing are part of the rookie and D class in the official racing ladder. They are one of those cars that teach you the basics of how to drive a race car, and you really have to manage them hard because the rear end likes to dance around, as Daniel Boswell and Michael Cullen here will be rapidly finding out as they make their way through the twisty second half of the lap, starting to lose a bit of time to Mitchell Albert and Ross Hansen up ahead of them, who form the rear of that pack for the top 9.
Yeah, and another thing about this car is it's part of the free content of iRacing, and so is Navarra, this circuit. So you could go out tomorrow and subscribe to iRacing, and you could be driving on this circuit with this car without paying any more money other than your subs. That's a pretty good start, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is. And a 1-month sub on iRacing usually costing, I think, around about 15 to 20 Australian dollars, if not a little bit less than that. You can get even less than that with discounts, as there's a pass happening in the first turn. Michael Cullen getting a good run out of the final corner, and he's able to get the move done on Daniel Boswell to move into the top 10.
Oh, makes my heart start to race when I see him diving over that curb, because it's a pretty savage curb, that one. It's right when you need the car settled, and it really unsettles the car.
Oh yeah, massively unsettles on those harsh sawtooth curbs that you find over the majority of the corners at the circuit, and trying to come back at him is Daniel Boswell, but he's tight on the exit. That's going to allow Adrian Gretsch through on the inside of turn 7, and he'll get the move done coming into 8. Nathan Verney up behind them as well. Verney up 3 positions from where he started, trying to make it 4 here. A lot of great position changes happening in the field, as well as Gus Cirillo up into 16th place after starting dead last. This has been a great run for him.
He deserves that after the going through a bit of heartache with the internet. But I think things like the internet not working. It's just like you turn up sometimes with your race car and suddenly it's got a misfire. And it's your ability to fix that as part of racing. Part of sim racing is things such as your wheel not working, or your screen freezing occasionally, or whatever. It's just like a misfire, a hiccup in the car, and if you treat it like those things, you go, well, that's part of racing.
Yeah, exactly. Sim racing might not have, the same level of, I suppose, fear that real racing has in terms of car damage, and the financial penalties are basically nil. But you still have to think about things like your computer hardware, your wheel and pedals, and your internet as well. That can really be options outside of your control that affect how your race goes. This race for the lead is starting to heat up here. McCrohan hasn't been able to make much of a headway on Kane Ryder at the front of this field, but they are pulling away from Vaughan Ryder, who sits all on his lonesome in 3rd, as Steve Curtis is holding up the battle here for 4th place, and McBurney once again wide coming through turn 5. Not the first time we've seen him out there in the runoff.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all nose to tail, all battling hard. You'd think it's a sheep station. Sure, there's a sheep station somewhere in Spain here they're looking for. But they're all over each other, and see them diving over to the left to try and get out of the toe and get people out of their toe, and we've got a real battle group here, and pretty wild. There's some really big varying lines, and you just hope that they can keep it all clean and tight.
Yeah, that is the hope. Speaking of keeping it clean and tidy, well, Race Control looked at the incident between Hayden Millington and Daniel McCrohan on lap 2 and decided no further action. Basically, Millington self-penalized with the spin and the resulting damage. Well, he's working hard at working his way back up through the field. He's back up to 20th spot. He was down in 25th when the safety car came out, so he's making some big headway here. But with 17.5 minutes and less remaining in the race, I don't know how much further he's going to fight his way up. McBurney under pressure from Steve Curtis now. McBurney found his way into 4th by the end of the previous lap, but Curtis is coming back at him here on the outside into turn 1. I haven't seen moves happen around the outside here. Look at the aggression from Ian Shue there. He wants to try and get as many points as he can. He knows that he's still mathematically in contention for the championship, but he needs to be in P1 in order to start that run going. He's having a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's come under a little bit of fire from a couple of the competitors saying that he's pretty aggressive out there, but it is racing. I think he's given it a good shot, and mate, racing drivers, they always do overstep the mark occasionally, but somebody here with a flat tire, but he is racing for a championship, so but a little bit contentious there. So,
okay,
there we go. That's why that's looking that way.
Yeah, Mark Bowman there, and it looked like there was a couple other cars involved in that too. Yeah. Ross Hansen, unfortunately for him, he was right in the midst of that battle from 4th down to 9th, but he's lost some crucial time now. Seems to have escaped suspension damage, unlike Mark Bowman. This is what happened. There was a move happening ahead, and looks like he spun by himself there. I thought for a moment he'd be involved with the cars ahead.
It was only a little half spin. It was just enough to drop him off that pack, but if they're battling, he might be able to get back onto the back of that pretty quickly. Somebody Jew there very sideways down into that last corner, which has ruined his run out of the corner. There's Hansen going wide, driving at 11 tenths now, trying to get back on this pack. But Zhu, when he got sideways there, you saw the car just sort of pretty much came to a stop, so he really lost the run. But the other guys must have done the same thing to themselves because they really weren't able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, certainly they were. Bad news if you're a Daniel Boswell fan. Looks like his internet issues have reared their ugly head once more, and they have won the battle. He has not re-emerged back onto the racetrack after disappearing some time ago, so I think we'll get confirmation soon that Daniel Boswell has lost connection to the server, and that's a real shame there for Daniel. He was on for a top 10 here today, and it will ultimately come to naught. We'll keep our eyes peeled on the battle for the lead, though. McCrohan still chasing down Kane Ryder for the lead, and you see that Kane is trying his best to break whatever draft there may be down this very short straight, but McCrohan is right on the rear of him now.
It's interesting when you're on board there, you can see the way the cars are reacting to that curve, and what it just shows you the reality of what we're looking at here. The cars really behave correctly over these sawtooth curves and jumping over these inside little, I don't know what they call, little obstacles on the inside on the apex. They've got extra little bollards, I think, lying down. But I also noticed Hansen had another moment there. Well, look at this. Look at the way they behave. The cars just react to the road, the way they behave, the way it settles in on the suspension as you go through there. And now it switches back the other way and under brakes and over the curve there. It's the car just lifts up incredibly accurately, so amazing to think that we can have this.
Yeah, it's a very awkward final corner at Circuito de Navarra, and that's why Ian Shu there was reticent to get to the inside there. The defense is still on from Brett McBurney. Oh my God, have a look at that from Ian Shu. Very deep, but very wide in the third turn. Steve Curtis is going to take that position back, but Shu is maintaining the momentum from that wide run into the third corner, and he might stand a chance of getting up the inside here if he can unsettle Steve Curtis. He has a look up the inside, but Steve says no.
Yeah, it's tough to do it here because the only way is if you somehow tuck the car and you can get an inside run up into that corner. But when the falling forward, you're going so quick, the car just slides its way to the outside, and you really can't make a move there. The only way you can do it is to hopefully somebody in front of you push them a bit hard. They might overstep the braking mark, get the car a little bit loose, and lose the exit speed, which allows you to make a move on them. But it's a pretty hard place to pass.
Yeah.
Run there. Zoo's run the car wide to get more exit speed because he's going to have a look down the inside, is he? No, he's going to sit right there behind them. He knows that's just that thought of diving down the inside there, the hole closes as fast as you can see it. And he's going to try and set himself up in the position that he can get a run down the front straight and get a toe.
Yeah, maybe straightening out the exit of the hairpin will help him out there as our leaders make their way up to that final corner. Try not to run too far over the curb. It's one of the harshest curbs on the circuit, the one on the inside at the final turn. Now we have less than 12 minutes to go, and the defense is on for Kane Ryder. Will he be able to hold off Daniel Macron with the slipstream into turn one? You have the inside. Well, you'll be able to take the advantage. It is 1, 2, and 3, all right-handers at the start of this lap, and if you're on the inside you can defend quite easily. So Daniel has to wait once more for that potential run. Shu is still trying to get past Steve Curtis here, and at the moment it's looking like Brett McBurney is the real cork in the bottle here. Vaughn Ryder's still chasing that top two battle there in third. He's a long way ahead of these guys now. It's going to take some great effort to catch up.
Reece, I got to say, this really does look like it in Roberts Championship. Locked away in the bottle, cap on, and on the shelf.
Yeah, that's the way it's looking at the moment, with Shu sitting in 6th place and Mitchell Albert in 7th spot at the moment, actually catching up to that three-way battle between McBurney, Curtis, and Shu. They're starting to catch up a little bit to Vaughn Ryder in this section of the circuit, but it seems like Vaughn is just able to get a much better exit from the final corner and maintain that gap. At the moment, our top two are free to race as they please, as Shu is still struggling to find his way past Curtis. But have a look at how much of the curb he's taking on the outside there, coming into the corners. He's really making use of the curb on the outsides of the entries and exits of these corners. That's really where that momentum is made. You can try and cut the inside of the corner as much as you can without getting a cut track or an off track even, but yeah, I think focusing on the exit is the way to go here.
Yeah, it's an interesting circuit. This circuit's actually just been, since iRacing planned it and built it, Dr. Jonathan Palmer, who owns a number of circuits in the UK, used to drive for Zach Speed in F1. Now, Jonathan Palmer bought this circuit, and he's at the moment doing some renovations. I think
no! Vaughn Ryder and Brett McBurney coming together in turn 3. Oh no! McBurney falling down the field now, and it looks like he's escaped back to the pits from there. Too much damage. Vaughn Ryder now out of the podium spots. Kane Ryder getting into continuing with that lead, but Steve Curtis now running in P3. There was a move here up the outside potentially from Shu, but McBurney, it looks like, just lost it on his own.
Yes, he lost the car, got off the brakes and ran to the back of Vaughn. Unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's just a straight up error, I think, from.
And they happen. You're racing.
Yeah.
They happen. You know, he would be very, very disappointed in himself for that, because nobody likes to take out the rails. Oh no, I'm right there. Andrew seems to be overdriving the car a bit, which is probably slowing him up. Look at it sideways there again. But yeah, as I was saying, they've changed the circuit. So that was it turn 8 and 9, the uphill sweeping left. They've changed that so that it's more of a squared off corner, and they've added a section in so that it changes the circuit completely through the middle section. So it'll be interesting to see if iRacing can go back and update the circuit in the near future.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a while before we see that, though, as Macron is still trying here on the back of Kane Ryder for the win with 8 minutes remaining on the clock. It's looking like 5 laps to go for our leaders. Kane has been falling under so much pressure here. In fact, Daniel Macron is the one with the fastest lap at the moment. Steve Curtis was able to run faster than both of these guys on the last lap, but 1 minute 47.3 is the quickest lap there. As we get news from race control, 10-second time penalty for Brett McBurney for causing that incident with Vaughan Ryder, and I think penalty justified there. He just got on the brakes a bit too late into the turn and just absolutely cleaned him up.
To top that off as well, he got a 20-second penalty for towing without approval. He's effectively, but in total he's got a 30-second penalty.
Yeah. Well, McBurney was running so well, and unfortunately it's going to be an ignominious end to his night as Ryder is going to try and maintain this position here. He's back in 7th spot now, and facing pressure from Ross Hansen, who we saw having issues earlier. Ian Zhu, meanwhile, still pressuring Steve Curtis here for what is now 3rd spot. Mitchell Albert in the green and white car behind them has a front row seat to this action, and Ian unable to get the move done there at the right-hander. Hansen still pressuring Vaughan Ryder there.
He's trying to go up the inside of the last corner.
Oh!
He's done it.
Very deep, but they managed to nail the exit. Mitchell Albert with the inside. I thought he would have had both of them there, but not much momentum on the inside there when you're having to negotiate cars on the outside. They are still together here. Ian Zhu now sits in 3rd, and it's up to Steve Curtis and Mitchell Albert to try and challenge him here into the first turn. Easy does it on your way into the hairpin here. Got to make sure not to go too deep. They get back into single file, and it looks like Zhu has managed to secure the podium spot.
That was a big move, but it was a good move up the inside, and it was aggressive, but it was clean and really well done, and it was respectful. I'm going to say to the other competitor, he didn't drive him off the road. It was a good move, very well done.
Yeah, very nice indeed, and I think we'll see really what Zhu is capable of with some clear air in front of him. The battle for the lead has absolutely dissipated at the moment. It's now back to 9/10 that Daniel Macron has to make up to Kane Ryder. So looks like the battle for the win is over for the time being, with 3 laps still left to run. But 3rd on back, I think there's going to be a few more things to be said.
Yeah, the couple of the people who we haven't really mentioned too much tonight, Jason Depp there, who's he's a little off 5th place mid-Calvin, but he's back a bit. He's had a good run, though. He's been up there in 6th place. He's got Vaughan Ryder and Ross Hampton closing in on his tail, so that could become a little bit of a three-way battle very shortly. Gustavo Cirillo there on screen, and Gustavo's having a great run. He's up to 12th from the back of the grid, so that's just really neat, clean driving. Well done on a track path. Great job.
Yeah, he's up 17 spots, which is more than double the amount that anyone else has been able to make up over the course of this race. Matthew Becker, meanwhile, holding on to 15th place at the moment, trying to chase down Chris Barnes, and John Wade and Nathan Favero right behind him, looking to take advantage. This is only the midfield, but the battles are just as close and intense as they are up the front. It doesn't matter where you are in this field, you likely have someone to race with, which is the beauty of Formula Ford in the end. Yeah, exactly. So much opportunity for big moves. pretty much any circuit in the world. You see Formula 4 putting on some good races, but Ross Hansen has just spun around there. Sorry, not Ross Hansen, Nathan Favero. And I was looking at a different place on the timing screen there. It looks like Favero just lost it into turn 3 there. I don't know if there was contact with another car. Problems for Adrian Gretsch as well, as Vaughan Ryder as well was trading places with Jason Depp for 6th spot. There's plenty of racing going on around the circuit here as, oh no, Ian Zhu has just gotten an iRacing issued black flag. He's exceeded the incident limit. He's been racing too hard.
Off the road, outside the circuit, got too many incident points. Wow. I don't know how you feel, Rick, but I'm not a great fan of the whole incident point system. The road's there. You should be able to use it. I can use it in the real world. If I get a slowdown, that's a different thing. But incident point should be restricted to where you contact another car.
Well, it depends on the circuit, really. At a track like Navarra, I think that the incidents, the off-track incidents are actually quite lenient. As long as you have 2 tires on the red and white curbs, you're clear. So if you're exceeding the incident limit by running outside those bounds, then I would argue you need to clean up your driving a little bit. I think Ian Zhu is being a little too aggressive there with those track limits.
Yep. But you should be getting, like there, that you should be getting a slowdown for that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult balance to strike, isn't it? Vaughan Ryder and Jason Depp side by side. At the end of the day, it's there to encourage clean driving. You don't want to see drivers running all the way off the racetrack at every opportunity, but maybe Vaughan Ryder will have to run off here. Nope, he'll stay on the curb there. You see the sawtooth curb there, absolutely doing a number on the suspension of the car as he tries up the inside again. Easy does it, but Jason Depp round the outside. Earlier power, and away he goes.
Now, something must have happened there to Ross Hansen, because he was battling with Vaughan Ryder for 6th and 7th place. And now he's back in 10th. So he's probably had some issue where Bernie, Cullen and Millington have all managed to get past him. So, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I know Ross has been struggling with this circuit, and he's finding it a very, very difficult track to get a hold of and get a flow going.
Yeah, Navarra's not an easy circuit to get the hang of. I should know. I've driven quite a few laps around here since the track came out. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled here as the white flag comes out for our leaders. Yep, 1 to go with a minute on the clock. Kane Ryder still holding on here from Daniel Macron, but have a look at that lap time from Macron, a 1:47.2. That's 2 tenths faster than Ryder could manage on that previous lap, and this is his last chance to get it done.
Yeah, one last diving, challenge and see if he can just pull something off. Maybe that move that we saw from Zhu into that last corner, something like that is what he's going to be looking for.
Yeah, the passes won't come easy, though, as we've seen plenty of times before. Navarra, not an easy circuit to pass at. Kane's just holding on for the time being, and Jason Depp still holding on to the last position in the top 5 as Vaughan Ryder's trying to recover. Inside, tighter, a little bit slower for Jason Depp, but Vaughan Ryder with the luxury of the wider turn in here for turn 6, and they've got battles all over them behind. Nathan Verney, Michael Cullen and Hayden Millington as well, battling over 8th and 9th, but we are into the twisties now, and we're into the heavy braking zones where Daniel Macron could potentially get a move done on Kane Ryder, but he's not close enough for the time being, and he goes for a slide, and I think that's going to be the battle for victory over.
Yep. That's done now. 1 corner to go, really, 1 serious corner. And that's that. But it was a good try, and he's put the pressure on, and Kane has withstood everything. He had plenty thrown at him.
Oh no, problem for Ross Hansen on the final lap there. A spin as Kane Ryder is going to come across the line to win round 7 of the Sportsman Division. The Formula Ford Australia E-Series here at Navarra. A beautiful drive, as you said, David. He absolutely absorbed all of the pressure being put on him there as Steve Curtis and Mitchell Albert will finish 3rd and 4th. Look at the train of cars here with Jason Depp there, just getting the move done on Vaughan Ryder, with Nathan Verney almost in with a chance there.
And so where did Zoo finish in the end?
10th.
10th. Not bad considering he had to do a top go for exceeding the track limits. But
Yeah.
But that is also Ben Roberts' championship.
It also, yeah, definitely is. Even though he's not here to celebrate it, we can congratulate Benjamin Roberts on doing enough to take the title a couple of rounds early here. He won 4 of the 5 rounds that he did, and the one he didn't win, he finished 2nd. Just fantastic results there from Benjamin. But let's not take anything away from Kane Ryder, who will be celebrating this victory for sure.
Yep. No, fantastic result. A fairly tame race compared to what we've seen. A little bit of not exactly a great circuit for overtaking.
Yeah, but the battles that we did see were very intense indeed. Ryder and McCrohan finishing nearly 10 seconds ahead of Steve Curtis there, with Mitchell Albert and Jason Depp rounding out the top 5. Only 4/10 back to Vaughan Ryder and Nathan Verney. Cullen will finish in 8th spot, up 3 spots for him, up 9 spots for Verney. Fantastic drive there from the 282. Hayden Millington, despite his spin earlier and visit to the pits under safety car, will finish in the top 10, as well as will Ian Zhu, but he'll be losing 2nd place in the standings to Mitchell Albert thanks to that. Gus Cirillo, what a drive from the back of the grid, up 19 spots to 11th. Could have been a top 10 if things had fallen further his way. Ross Hansen with a spin on the final lap, and behind them, seeing also very close between Becker and Gretsch there for 15th spot. Jared Cale finishing the last driver to finish within a minute of the lead there. David Riviere rounding out the top 20, and then we move on through to Michael Gillespie, who had some big issues over the course of that race. Does finish ahead of Milner, Yelland, McBurney and Cassidus. McBurney and Cassidus, they definitely had great potential to finish in the top 5 were it not for their incidents. Lipsky and Bowman, they got back out on track after their incidents. We had retirements from Ronald Long and Daniel Boswell thanks to his internet. So that's going to round out our results here, as we are able to bring our race winner, Kane Ryder, into the commentary box for a chat. Congratulations on the win, Kane. Certainly getting a reputation as a bit of a sponge there with the amount of pressure you were absorbing from Daniel.
Yeah, he was pretty relentless there, and you know, so I generally thought I could maybe pull away in this race, because but no, Daniel definitely found a bit of time, and yeah, I just, even when I got that second break there, when he had a little bit of mistake, he reeled me back in. So he was very quick here. So yeah, it was very intense.
Yeah, tough circuit as well. Navarra a bit treacherous at the best of times, and evidently quite difficult to pass on too.
Yeah, well, you just got to make sure you nail these certain corners where there's a bit of a chance. So like the last corner, for instance, you know, you really got to make sure you get out of there like a rocket, and that certainly stops it. But normally there is a bit of passing here, so I was surprised that you know, Daniel couldn't find a way through. But you know, maybe that last corner was saving me.
Yeah, potentially. Well, next week we of course go to Phillip Island for the final round of the season. Very fast circuit indeed. The draft is going to be a massive element of the racing there.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. That's going to be a really fun race. I'm sure there's going to be a few of us up the front there, because as you say, the draft is quite strong there. So she's going to be a bit of a chess game next week, I think. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, Kane?
No one at the moment, mate. No, just my brother. You know, he helps me practice and stuff like that. So, and so, of course, FRG, they've put on a great series, and you guys in the broadcast room do a great job.
Thank you very much, Kane Ryder, winner of the Sportsman division here at Circuito de Navarra. And it looks like he's going to be the only driver joining us here from the Sport division, which means we can move straight on through to the Pro division, David. and we'll have a look at the championship standings in just a couple of moments. But wow, it's quite a big gap that Benjamin Roberts enjoys in the sports driver standings still, as Steve Curtis will move into second place thanks to that. Mitchell Albert into third, Ian Zhu back down to fourth.
Yeah, so Ben's got that locked away. 25 points for a win left on the table, and that would put Steve Cordes at 110 and 10 points short. So well done, Benjamin. You're not here, but mate, enjoy your holiday. You've well earned it.
Yeah, indeed he has. And with Kane Ryder elevating himself up into fifth in the standings with that victory that we just saw, you never know. If there's big problems for Cordes, Albert and Zhu at Phillip Island, Ryder might be looking at second place in the championship despite not completing the full season. Yeah,
because both the Ryder boys, the brothers, joined us at, I think, round 3, I could have been. 2 or 3 anyway. But yeah, so they've done it, and they've been a fabulous asset to the series, and done some really good things in a short amount of time.
Yeah, they absolutely have. Well, these are the way things stand in the pro drivers standings. 60 points is the gap from Damon Woods to Kobe Williams, and that means that Woods has, I believe, wrapped up the title from there, but it's still on for third on back here. Caleb Hides for Eclipse Sim Sports, his teammate Matthew Hansford Taylor only 6 points behind him, and we still have potential for William Lowing and Dylan Burst to elevate themselves up into that top 3.
Yes, and they're out there qualifying right now, so and there's a bit of a battle. I did see the opening laps of qualifying and cars flying through the air, and bit of carnage out there. So they've obviously turned up here being with pretty serious attitude. But I think we'll see some serious battles out there tonight. And I think this track, as we saw, it's a difficult track. I think we're going to see a bit of carnage out there.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, they're all so close here. They all want to be the first one out in the qualifying session and take advantage of a little bit of slipstream. But when you get into these twistier parts of the circuit, it is so difficult to maximize your pace if there's cars right in front of you. So I think there's going to be a few drivers here who are a bit unhappy with how the session has gone so far. Chase Saxild currently the fastest in the session on a 48.0, 48.2. Next time for Nico Mendes. Caleb Dawson managing to put himself in P3 with 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the session. And we got some news of a pit lane start for car 72, Callum Newton. Apparently there's been something going on there.
I think that's what I possibly saw on the first opening lap from practice, because there were cars coming together and flying through the air, and I can only imagine that may have something to do with it. But how good is this? Chase Saxild, he's just been pipped from the pole. Now he's down to third. Overall, but Chase, he's about 11-year-old. He just won whatever the car championship is. But you know, came across from Perth. He lives in Perth. Came across to East Coast. I think they were at Cox Harbour and won his national class. He's a really good little young driver, but how good's this for him to be out there battling with people like Ben Bargwana and Damon Woods, who are real world racers of note.
Yeah, indeed. It's always awesome to see how sim racing can bring drivers of different categories together to race in absolutely equal machinery. There's no questions about parity in a sim racing series like this, because it's all defined by the computed physics. All cars are exactly the same in this Formula Ford Australia E-Series. It is all down to the driver from here. Damon Woods currently on pole position and managing to maximize the pace for sure, down to a 47.5 on a track that is a little bit warmer than what we saw in the sport division. 36 degrees Celsius is the track temperature, and it's a little bit sunnier as well. So at the very least, those tyres are going to warm up a little quicker.
We're getting a message here from Race Control saying that regards...
no.
That's not good qualifying, is it? Toby Williams involved in that car, very, very bent. It's for an incident in qualifying. He will start rear of grid instead, as he hasn't set a lap time. There we go. So that's
Right.
the story on Alan Newton.
Okay. Well, Matthew Hansford Taylor and there was Kobe Williams as well coming together there for Eclipse, but their teammate Dylan Burse making his way up to pole position now, only by 0.04 of a second from from Damon Woods. It's a fantastic lap that we've seen there from the number 68. Seth Burkhardt is one of the drivers that we have yet to see a representative lap time from. And we'll see what he can put together here as he makes his way up to the final couple of corners.
And they're all sort of hunting around looking for a tow as well, because they need that slipstream to get those extra couple of tenths, you know?
Yeah, the slipstream is worth quite a bit, especially down the start-finish straight here as Burkhardt comes across the line. 1 minute 48.7. That's going to put him just behind Sean Doyle there, and I don't think that lap's even counted there for Seth. He's obviously gotten an off-track somewhere along the line there. I did see some improvements further up the field. James Chastaneuf and Chris Mitchell only separated by 0.06 of a second as James Foster is going to make his way to the start-finish line. Now let's see what James can do here. It's looking like a reasonable lap from him. It's going to be a 1 minute 50.9 there, and there will be no improvement there. His fastest lap is a 48.3, so he's got a lot of potential.
Will Lowing jumped up to third there, another of the real-world Formula Ford races. They've all got this little edge on understanding the real world car and combining that with their sim racing. You know, it is wonderful. They have that opportunity to do both. Not in my day, we didn't have things like sim racing. We just went out and did laps in a race car. But, yeah, it's great to see that the talent being able to be used in both formats. Really, really nice to see that transfer of talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Caleb Hydes here hasn't set a representative time yet. Neither has Kobe Williams. So the Eclipse cars are looking to join Dylan Burse at the front of the field. And we'll keep our eyes peeled on the slipstream here as they are in the slipstream of Damon Woods. Should be a good effort from them. Chris Mitchell, meanwhile, commentator here in Perth, works around the dirt racing scene. 1:48.1 his most recent lap time. It's a couple of tenths off his fastest at the moment, so he'll be hoping for some improvements in the final 3.5 minutes.
Ooh.
Alex Beswick, 1:48.2. That's a good jump, up 4 spots.
Yeah, I think I saw there in the background somewhere James Chastaneuf having an issue out there as well. So they're pushing very, very hard, and a few of them having a little bit of a moment or two. Let's put it that way. I wonder how long it's going to take for us to have a major issue in the race.
Yeah, I got a 1-2 as Hayden Veld crosses the line. Damon Woods takes provisional pole back from Dylan Burse, but Burse takes it right back again. 1:47.2 is now our fastest. Veld remaining in third with Caleb Hydes putting himself in P4. Matthew Hansford Taylor gets his first time on the board, and it's a 48.8. That is way off, but Brody Shepherd sets a 48.2 to put himself in 11th spot. Great stuff. Let's see what the first time is from Kobe Williams as well. No slipstream benefit for him. There's a 48.6. That's going to put him second last of the cars that have set times there. 17th spot for Kobe Williams. Will he be able to make his way up through the field in the race? I don't think there's going to be much opportunities for him to improve from here.
No, and there's a few cars yet to actually post a clean lap time, because you've got to, for qualifying, your lap time has to have no off track. So if you get one incident point, your lap time's out and taken away, just like watching F1 at the Red Bull ring. So they've got to make it not only are they going to do a fast lap, but they've got to make it a clean one. So we've got 2 or 3 cars Callum Newton, Hansford Taylor, well, Callum Newton's obviously out from the incident earlier, but Hansford Taylor and Jordan Mazzaroli, although I think Jordan, I've got a feeling, has made a withdrawal.
Yeah.
Keep that with me for a second.
A tech issue apparently for him.
He's had a wheel failure and he won't be with us tonight. So it's just Matthew Hansford Taylor that hasn't put together a lap yet.
All right. Well, James Foster back across the line again, and once more
48.7.
fails to improve on his fastest lap. That's 0.4 off his fastest, and I think he might have gotten an incident over that lap too. The Eclipse cars coming across the line side by side here as Nico Mendes improves from 7th to 5th. He'll put Chase Saxild and William Lowing down 1 spot each. Meanwhile, this is the draft train. This is where we're going to be seeing some big improvements. Brody Shepherd, 49.9. That is far off the 48.2 he said earlier. Can Kobe Williams improve any on this lap? No, he can't. 0.2 off.
So 40 seconds left. That's pretty much done. Here's Chris Mitchell and young Chase Saxill, who are running as a team and working together to get themselves up the grid. That's really smart from these boys. You know, get away from all the everybody else, concentrate on your racing, and work with each other to give yourselves the toe. So, perfect idea.
Yeah, as they currently stand, they'll be starting right behind each other on the grid as well. There's been a big off, meanwhile, for Matthew Hansford Taylor. He's just escaped back to the pits as Chris Mitchell will improve on his time by 1/10 of a second, but it's not going to be enough to give him any positions. Chase Saxild, despite the slipstream, not able to improve either. Ben Barguana with a spin right at the end of the session as the checkered flag flies for Alex Bearswick, setting a lot of laps in the run-up to this event, but he can't improve on his final qualifying run. Let's see what Will Lowing can do here. 7th place at the moment. All he needs is 1/10 of a second, and he'll be able to overcome both Chase Saxild and Nico Mendes to get into the top 5. Is this going to be enough? A 1:47.3 is certainly going to do it. He goes up to 2nd place, front row for Will Lowing.
Really nice. On the absolute 11th hour, last seconds of qualifying, and he posts a time like that. That's fabulous to see. I love qualifying.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of any broadcast, calling the lap times as they come across the line. Brilliant stuff. Damon Woods improves further and takes pole position back from Dylan Burse. My goodness. Chastaneuf improving to 6th as well in the dying moments of the session. Kobe Williams, meanwhile. Oh, here we go. 48.0 for Williams. He's going to move up to 12th.
Yeah, Kobe's really struggled here tonight. He's been right on the pace with Damon Woods for most of the series, but tonight he's just not been able to put it together. So this is the thing with Pro. They've got open setup, so they can set the cars up however they like. Whereas Sport, it's a preset, it's a fixed setup. Everybody runs exactly the same setup. So that's where you do find in Pro sometimes the guys just aren't getting a hold of the setup for the circuit. I don't know whether that's Kobe's issue or whether it's just a circuit that doesn't suit him with all those stop-go left-right turns.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he gets his race set up a bit better than his qualifying setup, as Woods and Burse are your front row on the grid here. Will Lowing, well, he was briefly on the front row, but was overcome there by Burse and Woods at the very end. He starts alongside Hayden Veld, who had a fantastic performance in qualifying. 4th place and 2nd row for the 153. Caleb Hides is going to start 5th place alongside James Chastaneuf for Banter Alliance Racing. Definitely no stranger to SimSpeed broadcasters, James. Nico Mendes and Chase Saxild are your 4th row. Chris Mitchell is going to start in 9th spot, with Seth Burkhardt rounding out the top 10.
So P11 there to Cooper Allen. He's had a good run this evening, and Kobe Williams there in 12th, as we were discussing. Really struggling a little bit tonight, but it'll come to him in the race. Ben Barguana, who was up high early on, 13th on the grid. Brody Shepherd, good solid performance, 14th on the grid. Long way to go. Sam Chapman, teammate, 15th on the grid. Alex Beswick, who's done a tremendous amount of testing. As you said, I've seen him during the week running out there, 16th place on the grid. So Caleb Dawson, hope he's dressed beautifully tonight again, 17th on the grid. 18th on the grid, James Foster. We were on board with him. We saw him in his rig. He's got his webcam set up. We might cross that later in the race. 19th on the grid goes to Sean Doyle from Vermilion Motorsports Black. And then Matthew Hansford-Taylor, who is another guy who should be at the front of the grid. Here he is in 20th place.
Yes, and of course we have Callum Newton starting from the pit lane. Jordan Mazzaroli was present in practice, but of course had a wheel issue, could not take part in qualifying, and we're not expecting him on the grid for this race. So we have 21 cars taking to the start in the Pro Division. Of course, the safety car is at the ready should there be a big incident. And considering what we saw in qualifying, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple of big prangs on lap 1.
I wouldn't be betting against it, would you, Reese?
No, certainly not. I'm not a betting man, though I do buy a scratchy every now and then. Yeah, if I ended up getting that on a scratch card, wouldn't be too happy with myself.
Oh, look, he's dressed down for the evening tonight.
Disappointing.
Yes, this is the tension beforehand. So going through his head, what's going on, getting all set, making sure he's got everything all ready. A little bit of a fidget and a fiddle in the seat, and fiddle with something. Get your mind off what's going. All the things you don't need to adjust, you adjust. As he's doing.
Yeah, sometimes a couple extra little button presses helps to distract your mind from the tension yet to come. But the time is down to 0 now for the grid, and we have our 21 starters getting ready for the call of the green flag. The revs rise for the standing start. Damon Woods from pole position will get a lovely smooth start. It's very orderly indeed, all of them getting away without any issues, but Woods immediately moving to cover Dylan Burse on the inside on the way into turn 1. Potentially a move coming from Hayden Veld. He's up the inside of Will Lowing, and he gets into 3rd place when they get to the braking zone. Will he be able to hold on to it is the question as they rapidly try to all come into the same apex. It's such a difficult opening sequence of turns here at Navarra, but they managed to get through cleanly. Almost banging wheels are Lowing and Veld as they come down to turn 5.
So Lowing actually managed to stay on the outside and keep his road speed up, keep the apex speed of the car up, and that allowed him to run around the outside and actually re-secure it a position on the inside lane in the next left-hander. So good battle there over the opening couple of corners.
Oh, Cooper Allen!
By Cooper Allen. That was unlinked, dude.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Seth Burkhart's, meanwhile, he's trying his best to hold on to that position as the move continues for Hayden Veld. He gets back past Lowing, but they lock wheels and come together, both of them off the circuit and out of the top 5 positions.
Yep, a little touch of
Oh,
wheel.
Veld's damaged.
Oh, Veld, yep.
That front right's not attached. The suspension is broken for the number 153. So we'll see if he can find his way back to the pits to get that repaired. That's really unfortunate.
There's no fast repairs. This is pro.
Yes, of course, got to remember that. Veld's decided to stay out. I think it might have been a bit misleading there, seeing how much damage, if he had any at all, on the car. Ben Barguana, meanwhile, up 2 spots now into 11th spot, and he'll try to chase them down, but Will Lowing there in 10th place right at the back of this pack, and the draft train is already forming. Choo-choo, we are leaving the station as Kobe Williams is going to try and get past Chris Mitchell into the first corner, and he ends up succeeding only just.
Yeah, it was pretty loose there as he turned in. So now look, what we're looking at here is the front suspension on this car.
Oh, Alex Beswick. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, that was a nice little bit of a slot through the middle there.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think that's Matthew Hansford-Taylor who's the other car involved in that one. Yes, okay, confirming that was Matthew Hansford-Taylor that came together with him, and, well, a bad night getting even worse for Matthew Hansford-Taylor. But the battle is on here for the top three. Damon Woods losing the lead to Dylan Burse. This is a fantastic little fight, and this is how it was all done. Burse in the slipstream, and you really get a sense here, David, for how strong the slipstream is. It allowed him to get alongside, and he was able to take the shorter line around and move his way through into the lead.
I also noticed that Damon Woods is not normally. He's got his blue car. He's gone from blue to poo because it's green now.
Yeah, looks like more of a muddy brown to me, and I think there's a bit of spec map stuff going on for him as well, because it's shiny. Spec map's trying to make it gold, but not succeeding, evidently.
No, it looks like it's gone from blue to poo.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe he'll have the inverse of poo in terms of luck. Let's see then, as the draft is broken by Dylan Burse, and I mean the amount of weaving that you see going on here, it's done nothing, because Damon Woods will get back up the inside into turn 2. Hard on the brakes for the number 68 though. He's trying desperately to hold on to the position. There is overlap between them at the apex, and Woods will move back through into the lead.
Awesome being on board in the middle of that battle. You're seeing how on edge they really are. They're right on the edge of vision there. One little mistake and it'd fall over.
Yeah, absolutely. Just goes to show how much on the edge these guys are, as Kobe Williams will get past Chase Saxill there to get into 6th spot, but Chase is right on the back of him still, trying his best to keep in touch. Will Lowing is right on the back of them as well. He's trying to make a recovery here from his front 4 start as we ride on board here. Trying his best to make his way through on the 901 is Caleb Dawson, late on the brakes. He's absolutely firing it into the corners, but you can see he was shifting his eyes. He was looking at the run around the outside that Seth Burkhart's had, and now he has to back out, but he's got cars right on the back of him as well.
I'm really impressed. I was just going to say, I'm really impressed with how cool, calm and collected he is behind the wheel. I shouldn't have said anything, should I?
Yeah, he's looking decidedly stressed now as Caleb Dawson, as he had that big slide coming into the left-handers.
He's different to me. He sits upright in the seat. I'm like the sidecar passenger. I'm leaning out with my elbow on the ground as I go through corners. I can't help it. I need to have a 6-point harness to keep me in the seat. But he's very cool, calm and collected and sits up in the seat, except when he loses it. Then it's pretty funny.
Yeah, indeed.
Back up to 6th. Up to 5th now. Trusted off as well.
Yeah, good stuff as James Foster is trying to chase people down now. Dylan Burse and Caleb Hydes are trading spots for 2nd place meanwhile. It looks like Caleb unsuccessful in getting past Dylan. This brought Nico Mendez right into the battle for the lead, but this is really good stuff that we're seeing here from the onboard of James Foster.
I've got to point out to James, there's a major problem with the rig. If you're driving Formula 4, the gear change is on the right-hand side. It is never on the left-hand side. All race cars, all the single seaters with a gearbox, with a manual gearbox, have the gear shift on the right-hand side.
Yes, and I mean, it's obviously a bit of a time investment to get your shifter over to the correct side for the car. Yeah. Have a look there. You can just see the shifter right there.
There it is.
Nicely done. Yep.
Isn't that fabulous? Look at that.
Yep, all the details are
how
modeled.
he's changing gear without touching it.
Yes, a little bit of voodoo magic going on there. Yeah, looked like a bit of negative voodoo for Caleb Dawson. Meanwhile, I noticed a couple of moments ago he had a spin at the opening turns, and he's now all the way back down in 20th place. So, yeah, the trials continue for Dawson and for many drivers in this field.
Very, very wide there from Lowing. Oh, that's lost the tail on the way in, and
in comes Sam Chapman. Oh dear.
It was a bit of a rough rejoin.
Yeah. Very rough. Chapman apparently got a mechanical black flag from that, so he's way off now. The fighting still going on pretty much anywhere you look in the top 16 positions. We're looking at the moment, and I believe this is the Chris Mitchell and Chase Saxill chasing down Cooper Allen for last spot in the top 8. Saxill right on the back there, and well, it looks like Caleb Dawson will be speaking to race control shortly if they deem necessary. That was indeed a bit of an unsafe re-entry back onto the racetrack, but let's see what Chris Mitchell can do for the time being as he chases down Cooper Allen.
Boy, oh boy, that was close. That like I said, you got to remember, there's no car compared to this, so you can't afford to have a big issue. That's a big
Oh dear, Cooper Allen gets back onto the racetrack. Ping pong ball.
That's
Almost.
a bit of a rough rejoin.
Yeah, that was rough. Chris Mitchell won't be too happy with that as Ben Barguana trying his best to hold on in the midst of all of that. He stood a chance at getting a couple of positions from that. Mitchell's going to try again on Allen here. Gets up into 8th for the briefest of moments, but round the outside using the runoff area, Cooper Allen maintains the position. The incident is under investigation here already, apparently. Seems Cooper Allen not too happy with Chris Mitchell.
I did hear Chris Mitchell actually report to race control on what it looked into for an unsafe re-entry from Cooper Allen. There we go, 3 abreast, the leaders. 3 abreast down to turn 1.
Oh dear, Dylan Burst gets into the lead. Damon Woods back to 3rd. Nico Mendez trying to get into the top 3. Ooh, trouble for Caleb Hides there. Little bit of an internet issue, but the Eclipse Sim Sports drivers now run 1 and 2 at the front of this field, and it is a massive battle behind. James Chastaner sitting back in P7 here with Will Lowing with an excellent recovery to 6th. He could get bulk positions if anyone comes together in this fight.
And that's Kobe Williams from back in 12th on the grid, up on the 4th place, right on the back of Damon Woods. So and I said he was struggling in practice. He may have just been overdriving the car. He thinks it's found his rhythm. He is flying through this field. Come on, Kobe, I love this.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Hides is in trouble, though, with Damon Woods firing it up the inside at turn 9. Bit deeper in for the number 92. He's going to try and gather it up on the exit, but it looks like Woods is through, and he's going to protect the inside into turn 11. Have a look at Will Lowing. He is all over the 94 of Kobe Williams, and looks like Kobe managing to get the position from him there. That's yet another spot up there to 4th place with Williams trying to chase down the front of this field. Mendez back to 6th. What an incredible exchange. There's so much happening here, I can barely keep track of it.
It's certainly take no prisoners, isn't it? There's nothing being given. Every inch that they can use. And Williams sideways, Lowing locking up the rear. You saw the smoke from the back of the car as he locked the rear. There's Chris Mitchell doing the same thing, locking the rears as they come through that corner. They're obviously running a lot of rear brake on the cars, and that can make them turn. So when they come on the brake, they're almost locking the rears to get the point in. So this serious, and here's Woods down the outside, trying to find a way past. Now, the leaders ran a little bit wide there. Dylan Burst ran a little bit wide into that corner, and there, Mitchell hung out to dry on the outside by Cooper. Allen pushed off the road. And Barguana's down the inside. They've come together. There's a big cut there of the wheels. This is craziness.
Oh, this is fantastic racing. Ben Barguana trying to stake his claim for a position further in the top 10. Chris Mitchell now has to be defensive versus the 171. They come together and Barguana's off the circuit. Careful on the rejoin. Manages to slot back in.
The pitchman somebody laid there for him.
Yeah. It's times like that as a driver you're thinking, man, I'm glad modern racetracks have such wide runoff areas with no gravel. It just allows me to recover nicely. But oh yeah,
still down the inside.
This is fantastic stuff. All right.
Look, as tough as it is, you're still there on the outside of Barguana.
No, Hayden Veld and Ben Barguana. coming together there. Veld was deep into the corner and came across Bargwanna. I don't know if Ben could have done anything to avoid that, but man, Hayden Veld, after an excellent qualifying performance, falling back down to 17th place. And while we're thinking about all that, the battle for the lead is still going on. This is what's going to happen here. Veld tries up the inside of Bargwanna, and yeah, how would you call that?
Racing incident.
Yeah, for sure. But
how rough the road is up the main straight there. They can't bouncing around on the bump. So Wood down the inside. He's got a good toe this time out of first. First is very quick down into this first corner line. Yeah, Wood got a good run there up the main straight. Here's Will Loewen trying to part the sea in front of him between Mendez and
Williams.
Who's out there? Mendez and Kobe Williams.
You see how hard Will Loewen is working the wheel. My goodness, there's barely any space between the cars here on the run into turn 6. Flat out through turn 7. Williams is going to have the inside on Mendez here, and he's going to get the run into turn 8. Mendez will let him go, and almost getting back through there was Will Loewen. Man. Oh, I mean, my brain is firing on all cylinders right now. I think I'm going to over-rev soon.
I think Woods is actually looking. He's got himself in the truck.
Oh, okay. Hang on. This isn't the first time we've seen these two cars together. Cooper Allen and Chris Mitchell. Mitchell ahead here. Cooper Allen taps him around.
That was a bit. Oh, that's a bit rough. No.
Yeah.
Brilliant recovery from Mitchell.
Yep, do a 360 no scope and right back into it as Mitchell's had further problems. And oh dear, who's that? That's Sean Doyle.
Sean Doyle. Doing donut.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's going to try and get a recovery on there, but man, the race has just gone from hero to zero for Chris Mitchell, and through very little to no fault of his own there.
A lot of red mist.
Yeah. You see there. Yeah. He dived up the inside, and I think that move just wasn't on. All right.
This is where up till now, we've seen Woods be able to get into the front and actually make a little break and get away. But tonight he's not getting away. Bursts and hides are all over the back of him.
Yeah, this is an excellent double-pronged attack from the Eclipse cars. There's a little bit of a look by Dylan Burst into turn 5. Damon Woods climbing all over the curb.
It'll be interesting to see the incident count on these boys, because they're certainly all using plenty of road out there.
Yeah, well, remember crucially, as long as you have 2 tires on the red and white curbs, you are clear. There is no incident points from that. But Chris Mitchell has already gotten a black flag for incident limit points there. That's the reason why you saw him coming through the pits as to the lead again. Goes, yep, Dylan Burst, Damon Woods trying his best to get this lead back. Oh, here we go. Outside run through here. He's going to have to let Burst go for a couple of moments, but he's going to force the issue. He's going to push him through this next sequence.
See the difference there, though? Woods actually gave that extra room around the outside. He just left that extra room so he didn't have wheel. And in the end, he still got the right line to on the inside here as we come up towards the last corner. But he managed to, down the outside, they're coming from everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Have a look at the run here from Kobe Williams. He's going to try and have a run at second here.
Here we go.
Yep, there's the effort for the block potentially from Damon Woods, but he has to leave Williams a bit of room now that he's got some overlap, and he's in the slipstream of Caleb Hydes. Kobe Williams is going to go for the lead of the race up the inside of turn 1, and he gets there. Brilliant stuff. What a move from Kobe Williams.
From 12th on the grid to drive through a field of drivers, the quality that we've got out there and take the lead, that's a bloody excellent evening. He's having a fantastic run. Go for it, Kobe.
Lovely stuff. Unfortunate news for Cooper Allen. Thanks to turning Chris Mitchell, he's gotten a drive-through penalty from race control. But Caleb Hydes is going to have that far from his mind. He probably doesn't even care. He wants to try and get back onto the podium here. Damon Woods trying his best to hold on to Dylan Burst here as it's side-by-side between Mendez and Loewen. Will Loewen back up into the top 5 for a brief moment, but Mendez gets the better exit. And have a look at the break in the slipstream from Kobe Williams. Williams. He's going to be driving mad defensive now that he's got the lead.
Yeah, and it's all about that main straight because it's long enough that they're able to get the toe a lot better than we thought out of sport. That may be because they're running different ratios. They may be running shorter ratios. With sport, we always try to give them a bit longer ratio to make it easier to tow past somebody. But it looks to me like that's the difference here, and I'm seeing the different gear ratios certainly making it more able to attack up that main straight.
Yeah, and the way you modify the gear ratios in these cars can have a massive effect. These cars only have 4 forward gears, so it's very important that you try and keep the revs in the power band. Naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engines that these cars use. Oh, wow. Have a look at this draft then from Burst. He's going to go up the inside again into turn 1, and it looks like Williams isn't going to fight it too hard. As long as he's given room on the outside, he'll slot back in, and I don't think he'll be too fussed about that. He's shown that he can very easily make the move back. How about at turn 4?
Great drive out of that first corner. He had it down the inside, and he's taken the lead back again from Burst. And now, who's this? This is now Caleb Hyde is back into third, and Damon Wood is back into fourth. Ooh.
Yeah, everywhere you look, there's things going on here. As there was a great move by Burst to get back into the lead versus Kobe Williams, and he's going to consolidate that now on the exit of turn 8. But there's better drive out of the corner for Kobe, and giving a tiny bit of slipstream to Damon Woods, who still stands a good chance of getting back onto the podium. I just feel like this battle is a powder keg waiting to explode, David. It's been beautiful, clean racing for the most part, but I think it's only a matter of time before we see some kind of coming together here.
I hope not.
Yeah, I certainly hope not as well. This has been fantastic. What a fantastic race it has been at Navarra. Williams is going to run wide there just to give a bit of room to Caleb Hydes on the inside, as now Damon Woods defends from Will Lowing in the black car there, P5 at the moment. Back out of the very awkward final corner there, sort of off camber and uphill, as there's 10 minutes on the clock, and Dylan Burst does not want that draft down the front straight. Have a look at the run from Caleb Hydes, though. He'll be on the outside, though. He lifts off. Very wise decision.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of a break there, and also I noticed that James Chastanoff has jumped onto the back of this to make an extra car in that pack. So we've now got a field of 7 there, and now we're seeing Damon Woods is back to 5th.
Yeah,
he's going backwards through this pack.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move around the outside of turn 3 by Will Lowing to get the position there. And Damon Woods, I think, will have to cool things down a little bit and hope that they come together again in front of him. I think it's only a matter of time before they do, because Dylan Burst, he may very well lead out of the final corner on this lap, but I'm sure Kobe Williams is going to grab him. Oh dear. Oh no, Bhagwana and Foster both having big trouble there at turn 5. Foster's going to get back going again. I'm not too sure about Bhagwana. Looks like both of them don't have much in the way of damage.
No, they're a bit stronger than the real thing.
I'm hearing that Foster's got a mechanical black flag, though, so there's been a mighty incident involving those 2 cars. Well, 8.5 minutes to go, and Kobe Williams, he held the lead for a period of time, and he'll be hoping to hold it right at the end. We'll see what happened here with Foster and Bhagwana. So Ben behind James at the moment, and James loses it in front of him. Oh! It was a good effort from Bargs there to jump on the brakes. That's what you're supposed to do when an incident happens in front of you, but I don't think he really had much time to react to that.
No, it's very hard in these cars when the change line in the middle of the corner when you're so committed and you're really on edge. It's pretty hard to just say, oh, I'll just move over here and avoid that accident. Doesn't work like that. Now we've got Hydes up into second, and now Hydes is going to try and run down Dylan Burst, or and hopefully they're just going to fight for it and not fight teammate.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. I mean, it's the first rule of racing: don't hit your teammate. It's also the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so it goes rule. So we'll see if they manage to stay out of each other's hair there at Eclipse Sim Sports.
Yes, first rule of racing, and yesterday Rue and I were having a bit of a fun run in a endurance race, and I think the third lap of practice I ran into it.
Yeah, it's all
let me through.
Yeah, it's very easy to have that sort of stuff happen when, you know, your teammates, you're running together, you've been working together on the setup, but you both want the same position. You both want those maximum points from the night of racing. We are under 7 minutes remaining here at Navarra, and our top 6 are still locked together. James Shastanoff has fallen off the back now of this pack, but there's every chance that he'll be able to catch back up to them by the end.
I like it. For me, the two guys that seem to have the extremely good pace when they can show it is Williams and Will Lowing. I'm liking these two guys, and I think one of these two can maybe nick this from the boys.
Yeah, the Eclipse boys who trade places for the lead. Caleb Hyde's back in front. Dylan Burst let him go on the way into turn 1. I think they're going to try and work together now that they're all together at the front of the field. They want to try and get that gap over Kobe Williams and Will Lowing. Kobe's going to be hard defensive here on Lowing coming through this section of the circuit. This is perhaps the most crucial turn on the circuit for my money. It's the most difficult to line up, and it's very easy to make mistakes through here, but they all managed to get through there cleanly. Oh, and there's the move from Damon Woods. Tries to get up the inside of Lowing. They almost interlock wheels there. Big danger in an open wheel race car, but they managed to stay clean.
Yeah, that was a tight move, and they've sort of, you can see that they're just not quite being able to put the pressure right onto these two Eclipse guys. They're sort of getting away from them a little bit here.
Yeah, they are. Caleb Hydes and Dylan Burst have done very well to work together in these top 2 positions. Kobe Williams, I think, has been obviously eyes forward, trying to catch back up and get amongst it in the battle for the top 3. But I think there's just been so much happening behind him that maybe he's a little distracted. That we've seen some big sends from all of these guys in the top 6 over the course of this race. And when the next one comes, you never know.
We'll see now if he's close enough to pick up that toe and get back right on the tail, but he seems to be just dropped back that sort of half a car length that's making all the difference, and he can't just work that toe up the main straight. Now there goes Woods up into third. He's down the inside of Williams. Yeah, he's done it. He's done it.
Oh, he slides on the way into the hairpin, though. Almost goes into Williams, who lines up the exit round the outside beautifully and manages to maintain third. But this is just giving more and more of an advantage to Hydes and Burst.
Yes, these guys fighting here. You're letting the Eclipse guys get away.
Oh, Woods round the outside of turn 5 nails the exit and the inside for 6 and 7. Oh, easy does it. Yeah, Lowing has to back out of that one. Not enough momentum on the inside through a tight corner like that.
Now, can Woods close it up over the remainder of this lap? Be in a position to have a go at the
Mendez. Oh, no.
That's Mendez round, is it?
Yeah, it is. Tried to go up the inside of Will Lowing and unfortunately got tapped around. Had to get the car restarted there, or at least put the clutch in to avoid it stalling. And he's going to fall. Yeah, he's falling outside the top 10. You're right, David. And then there were 5. Which of them is going to take victory here? Is there anything that James Shastanoff can do on his lonesome in 6th? There's still battles going on for 7th. Hansford Taylor leading Burkhart's and Chase Saxhild, and Mendez now defending from Hayden Veld, who, remember, was running up the front early on, but had an issue and looking to be gaining at least one more position.
Now I see Woods. He's closed that gap a little bit from where it was earlier on. And if these guys start messing around with each other, he's going to be right over. Oh, that's a very, very wide move there by Caleb Hyde. It's got very wide in that second sort of kink. But yeah, no, Woods is now head down, giving it everything. So he needs to get back there in contention so that with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, he's got a shot at making a pass here.
Oh yeah, he certainly has, and all mistakes from both of the Eclipse cars there as Veld and Mendes have come together. They were fighting over 11th and 12th, and Mendes is out. The gap for the lead has been completely eliminated now. Veld, I think, has lost all drive to his rear axle.
That's going anywhere.
Yeah, that's such a shame to see them come together like that, and so late in the race as well. Oh, here we go. Ooh, Damon Woods trying up the inside of Caleb Hydes. He's going to get it done. Tighter line through the turn there. Will Hydes fight back? No, he won't. He'll slot in. He knows that there's still a chance here. They'll be coming up to the white flag as we see what happened here between Mendes and Veld. Veld very deep into the corner, but Mendes loses it on the curb there.
Oh.
Ouch. And that's what destroyed the gearbox for Hayden Veld.
Yep. That was unfortunate. Just a bit of a sort of somebody having an issue, someone trying to take advantage of it, and unfortunately ends up being a bit of a racing incident. Now, I reckon we've got a race on here, and I think that with white flag flowing, I think we're about to see Damon Woods take the lead.
Yep, any of the 5 drivers on screen there could be in the lead by the end of the lap. It is side by side between Dylan Burse and Damon Woods. They bang wheels on the way into turn 1. Oh, Dylan Burse is not going to give this one up easily. He's got the inside for turn 3. Woods, oh, he's counter steering, sliding through turn 3, loses second place.
That's it.
Yeah, oh, look at the drive on the way out though.
Boy, oh boy, that was close, and there was a bit of a wheel bang on the way in, and
oh, he's very wide.
Yeah,
but he's lining it up well. Both Eclipse cars going off the track.
Here he is. What's this? Down the inside? No. Wide is covering. Woods looked. He set that up way back. He went wide so he could run down the inside into that corner, but Hyde's covered it beautifully. Now, will Woods again do that dive down the inside here? If he does, he's not going to be close enough when he gets down to... Oh, he's going to hang back, try and get the run out, and he's going to make a fast run down the inside here. Can he get through? Yes, I think he does.
Oh, backs out of it. Could try the over-under here as there's a big slide from Caleb Hydes. And that's exactly what Damon Woods was hoping for. He's going to get up into second now, but will he be able to maintain it to the end? This is all giving a massive advantage to Dylan Burse as Kobe Williams will now try and take advantage of all of this. I don't think anyone's going to catch the number 68 now. Last couple of turns here. Banging wheels between Damon Woods and Caleb Hydes. Woods will have the inside for the final corner. Lock up for Hydes. And Woods is going to get second place. In the lead though, Dylan Burse. What a fantastic battle, and it is won by the number 68. So close between Williams and Lowing for 4th place as well. What a finish.
What a race.
Yeah, that whole race was fantastic.
I think we started off with 10 in that lead group and in the end of a 5. That's pretty good.
Oh, this is why we love racing, right? That was just a brilliant battle all the way through, and crucially, those guys all kept it clean the whole way through. You don't often see that.
You just don't get that sort of racing out of GT cars, though. I mean, it's a different sort of racing, but that just full-on, absolute maximum attack every corner of every lap only happens in a Formula Ford.
Yeah, indeed it does. And that is why we love Formula Ford as the last finishers come across the line. And we can go through our unofficial results from the Pro Division here in round 7. Burse, only 87 thousandths of a second in it between him and Woods. And it was very close between Hydes, Lowing, and Williams as well, the top 5 there. James Chastaneuf, he was minding his own business and all of that and got a 6th for his troubles. Matthew Hansford-Taylor, what a recovery. Started from very low down the field and managed to get a 7th place for his troubles. Chase Saxild finishes where he started in 8th spot, with Seth Burkhartz and Brody Shepherd rounding out the top 10.
So 11th there to Caleb Dawson. Caleb had a tough night tonight. Alex Beswick, he's done a really good job. We didn't see a lot of him, but he's had a really good run. Callum Newton, 13th. Chris Mitchell, after all the disaster that he had and a pit and ran out of incident points, 14th. Nico Mendez, running at the front for so long, deserves so much more than 15th place tonight. Haydenveld, early issues, qualified really well, 16th. Tough night for him. James Foster quite got in a bit of trouble out there. We saw him and Ben Barguana having quite a few issues, and they finished there in 17th and 18th. Cooper Allen, 19th on the road. Sean Doyle, another one who ran out of incident points from what I saw. So tough night for a few boys out there.
Oh yeah, plenty of tough going, especially further back in the field there. But that takes nothing away from the fantastic battle we saw there for the top 5. The Eclipse drivers finishing very well there, and Damon Woods with that second place will extend his championship lead there. Kobe Williams gets over the century, 101 points on the board for him. Still in striking distance though is Caleb Hides. If Hides wins at Phillip Island and Williams doesn't score, they're going to be tied for second place. Dylan Burst then in 4th with Hansford Taylor and Lowing only separated by a single point there. Hansford Taylor would have been grateful for the recovery that he made in this race.
Yeah, they one race to go and it's off to Phillip Island under the beautiful sun of Australia. Great place for Formula Ford. Slipstream crazy, and a lot of these guys have real racing experience there as opposed to somewhere like tonight. So be interested to see what next week brings.
Yeah, certainly will be. So we'll catch up with our second and third place finishers as Damon Woods joins us now. Congratulations, Damon. Pole position for you. Man, what a race that was. You were battling hard the whole way through.
Yeah, I figured that since I've locked up the championship 2 rounds early, I might as well go hard and have a bit of fun with the boys and, have some cracker racing and put on a good show for the broadcast.
Yeah, well, a good show it was indeed. David and I were talking during the sport division about how difficult it is to pass here at Navarra, but evidently no one told you guys.
Yeah, we figured out some spots to pass. The toe's pretty strong here, so you're always going to get a good run down the front straight, and even down the back straight, it creates a good opportunity. And to be fair, if you have enough trust in the guy that you're racing, you can hold it side by side pretty much anywhere through the infield as well. So, yeah, no, it was awesome fun. Really enjoyed that as a good way to, start to cap off the season, put in all the hard work to get the points gap. And yeah, now it's starting to pay off and I can just, cruise around and have a bit of fun with the boys.
Excellent stuff. What are you expecting from Phillip Island next week? Obviously the slipstream is going to be huge, but the racing's going to be just as intense.
Yeah, it's going to be absolute chaos, I reckon. Especially with all the Eclipse boys, we're always communicating with each other, so it's definitely going to make it difficult for anyone else trying to compete with us, that's for sure. But in the end, it's going to be awesome fun. It's Phillip Island always offers great racing, even in the real world. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one again.
Indeed. Well, anyone that you want to thank or give a shout out to before we let you go, Damon, was second place on the road.
I've got to thank my real world sponsors, Apex Steel and Aviation Component Services, for all their support. The Eclipse boys for some awesome racing tonight, and the FRG crew for always putting on a splendid event. So yeah, cheers boys, have a good one.
Brilliant stuff from Damon Woods there, joining us from second place in the race and locking up the title 2 rounds early. Big congratulations to him. And we're also going to have a chat with Caleb Hides as we bring him into the box now. David, I believe you've caught up with him.
Yeah, Caleb, that was pretty tough stuff out there. Pretty hectic from go to woe. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was a bit of legs out, elbows out. But no, it was good fun. Good to get another podium, 2 in a row now. So just banking up some good points after my pretty atrocious round at Saxon Dog and Ring, whatever the track's called. So no, it's been good.
So you thought there might have been a little bit more than just a podium finish. You thought you had a win in your hands there, maybe?
You obviously try for it. it was cool to finally lead laps. Usually it's Damo out in front, 10 seconds in front. So yeah, that was positive. But yeah, Toe's just massive. So, and then once I was sort of behind Damo and P3, I knew the win was sort of away from that. It was going to be tricky to even get past. I mean, either of the two, Bruce or Damo. So, but no, happy with third. Good Eclipse 1, 2, 3.
Oh, good run tonight, and certainly a fantastic race to watch. With I think at the start of the event there we had N in that lead group, and by the end of it there were 5 left. But boy, oh boy, you guys were just all over each other. So fantastic! Thank you for the great racing. Anybody you wanted to thank for tonight?
Oh, yes, heaps to thank. Also, massive thank you to my spotter Eddie Beswick. He was coaching me the whole race. Couldn't do it without him. Big thanks to Damo, Bruce. Who else have we got? Jackson Barry, Byron Williams, Kobe Williams, Kalen Chin. Who else? Hayden Veld. There's too many to name. All the good guys.
Well, fantastic stuff from Caleb Hides to round off this round with a podium. And of course, we go to next week's round. Of course, David, Phillip Island. Classic place for some Formula Ford racing. Looking forward to the conclusion of this championship.
Yeah, home of Formula Ford in Australia. I always think of it as it's a great circuit. It's a big circuit, a Grand Prix circuit, but it just seems to suit a Formula Ford. It's a great thing to drive around there.
Yeah, absolutely is. So mark that time and date down in your calendar next Monday at 8:25 Australian Eastern. Thanks very much for joining us, everybody, for what turned out to be a fantastic show at the Circuito de Navarra. Big thanks to Formula Racing Group for putting this series together, and to Formula Ford Australia and everyone involved there for lending official support to this series. It was just a fantastic initiative, and lovely to see the mix of real world and sim drivers battling each other hard over wins on the virtual racetrack. Here on SimSpeed TV, I'm Reese Gardner, David Roberts with me in the comms box, and Jay Kennedy behind the scenes. We'll see you all next time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.